welcome to my channel. I'm George Lawfrey. Today I'm going to talk about the business plans I'm going to try to start for next year. And there's three of them. One of them is just basically a no-go. The second one is just the first one is just too expensive, so we're probably looking at the third one for what I can do with the budget that I have. Anyway, so let's start with number one. I have a business plan to buy and start a cattle ranch in Montana. I went to the U.S. government trying to get a grant from the FDA to buy, purchase, set up, and get some extra income coming in so that I could guarantee the thing wouldn't fail. From everything that I've found, it's more or less the same kind of financial situation as running a trucking company, and I know how to do that pretty well. I did it for the longest time and made money. So the ranch would have been basically a cow-calf operation, so I would have been able to put 1,000 head or so of cows and 6 or 7 bulls in there. Then I had to got use tractors and stuff to help feed and take care of, manage and cut the hay, and watering devices. If it worked out that I need watering devices, sprinkler systems to water the grass, the hay in the fields, so I can get at least 2 cuttings a season so I could sell hay for extra money. Then, depending upon where it was at and what time of season, I was going to put a small RV park at the entrance or close to the front of the ranch so that I could get into that RV thing they have where they pay so much. Get on the app and they pay you so much so you can have open spaces, and you just keep them updated and let RVs come in. And I was actually going to power and put sewage in for them so that when they park into the RV spot, they have all the amenities of a regular RV park, except for they have more options and more things to do on the ranch. Then, depending upon my mood when I bought the ranch and where it was at, it was going to be a dude ranch type setup with extra activities besides just riding horses, and then trail rides onto the U.S. Forest Service land with permits, of course, guided by me or one of the employees, and basically go out for a couple hours, and or everybody rides in a group or cattle drives or whatever, just for keeping the tourists busy that want to come and do that, and then stables to put horses in if they bring their own. Then train horses for those that don't have horses. They can actually rent them like you would in the Wild Wild West. Would have been down at the end of the little town for the tourists, which would have basically been something out of the 1800s. Of course, you had to build it with modern building codes, but it basically be something out of the 1800s to look for looks. Then, you'd had to put some kind of store involved, so if you're growing, chickens, raising chickens, you have to be able to sell the eggs and the chickens, and if you're not doing a large amount, it doesn't make any good sense to send it to the factories. The factory farm chicken ranch, because they won't give you anything, so you have yourself a butcher shop in town that sells the meat off of your ranch and eggs and whatever else you're growing, fruits and vegetables, groceries. Then that also would be connected or part of the distributing facility, so that you can distribute so that somebody, without having people come to the ranch all the time, they'd have somebody distributing the products that you're making on the ranch. And for me, it would have been leather goods, because the leather the skin or the leather byproducts from doing cattle would have been made into things like bags or knife holsters, or just about anything you can think of that you can make leather into using for. Even briefcases would have been sold or redistributed from the warehouse in town, and everything would have been taken out there to there with a truck, because most of the time it's 45 minutes away from where the ranches I've been looking at are. And it's real hard to get people to come out to the middle of the ranch to buy that kind of stuff. And then the distributing place would have had an eBay account, an Amazon account, and all those other places, and they would have been doing more than just products from the ranch. So I figured, in a year that would have been a $1 million to $2 million business right there by itself. The ranch would have probably been 100 to 200,000 yearly income after taxes and expenses. So it would have worked just fine. Yeah, but I can't get the loans or the grants or the kind of money I need to do that one. So I'm putting that one on the back burner for a while until I can figure out how to get the $35 million that I would need to get started, which isn't probably going to happen because I'm not making that kind of money right now. And I'm probably too old to do that anyway. So the second business plan was kind of interesting because it probably wouldn't have made a whole lot of money, but it'd been fun, interesting. I was going to set up a business to do arranged marriages. Let people come sign up willingly and do arranged marriages. And the first check with first survey that I sent out to do that showed that a lot of people would actually sign up for something like that because they just want to be married, men and women alike. But there's problems, lots of problems in that, and then I don't know how to overcome the problems that today's society is creating to bring two people together in a marriage and make it last, even 5 years, let alone 20. So that business plan is out. I don't know how to overcome the psychological problems to get two people to live together that don't know each other right away. You could put shrinks, make them visit shrinks for the first 5 years that they're together, probably wouldn't help. And if you arrange a poor man with a rich woman, then that ain't going to work either. So, or, overweight, or there's all kinds of variables coming into that, and it just won't work. So, plan number 3 is the one that I have the best chance of doing with the budget that I've got. It's going to take a while to get to where I need to be, which is really cheap. It's going to require right around 100 to 150,000 to get started, and then it should make 40 to 50,000, maybe 70,000, 80,000 a year after it gets going for a while, because it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of putting money back into the business to get it to go and going. So about 5 years, I projected probably make somewhere right around 100, 150,000. But it's real hard to get a loan right now because of the COVID going on and all the scared culture, which I need to talk about in the next couple of videos, and why it's happening, what it's about. Or did I talk about it already? I don't remember. Anyway, so what we're going to do, what it is basically I want to put a photography and video sales and support center up, basically a storefront, brick and mortar storefront. And then I've got it set up where there's like 500 sources of income in the store, which is, not only just products for sale, which is services and editing services and all the other stuff that would go with that kind of thing, and even on-site classes to show people how to use their DSLR or the best way to make their photos better, or just basically teaching people how to use a camera the right way, even a cell phone. Then there'd been editing services on site, and then there would have been, using Photoshop and Lightroom to edit photos. So if you were a semi-pro person doing weddings for a little extra money, then you could have brought all your photos to us and had it edited by a professional, which, would have made it a whole lot easier and cheaper for a reasonable, fair price. And then, depending upon how many photos, it would have been quoted as you brought them in. And then I was going to set all that up so it could be done on a website too, which that kind of setup wouldn't be that hard. And then, for long-term storage of photos on a website, there, obviously would have been a fee, but it would have been also able to set up so that you could use that section of the website as your own homepage to display and show your clients, or my clients, whichever way it worked out to be, photos that you've taken without having to print them and waste all the money and make a photo book for them, so they can pick the ones they want. A photo book would have been online instead of the old-fashioned way in 6x8 or 6x9 photos that they could just thumb through and mark the ones on the back they wanted printed. So then even before coronavirus hit, I was planning to have it set up so it didn't matter if anybody walked through the front door of the store. There's going to be alternative sources of income for all those products. And with all the online distributors and the other distributors around, even other small businesses could take a little bit of money and a lot of money and become a vendor and start buying the products directly, in bulk, like in container loads or directly from the manufacturer, instead of having to go through a middleman. Just become the middleman, ship them to the store or the warehouse, whichever way it comes out to be, get them unloaded with a crew into the building, and then break them into smaller quantities and ship them out to whatever place you're going to ship them out. And, per the website, sell them online too. That way they can be shipped from the store directly to your house. And the only other retailer that's big enough that would have been able to compete right now would have been Andorama. So there's no really anybody in that marketplace that's actually doing that. And then I was going to put up, if I can get a big enough place, I was going to put up my own private video studio or photography studio, so that I can do portraits and stuff in my free time while I'm there, or as customers require, so that make a little extra money for the place and have some fun, because I like taking photos. I mean, doing portraits, baby portraits, I like doing that. And as far as my experience in photography, I graduated a photography correspondence course, not online, it was correspondence, because of when I was driving truck, what was it, 1993. And then I have been published, I don't know, a couple hundred times at least. I used to do, when I was driving a commercial truck, I used to do accounts, commercial accounts on the side, because I got a reputation, because I went to New York, and my first, I took a contest, and my first job basically was in the contest. I took a photo of a woman in a dress and did it different than everybody else did. Instead of putting up a white background or a green background or whatever background, I did it just outside of the hotel they were having a contest in on a big rock. And it worked out pretty good. It made the cover of Modern Bride magazine and a couple others just like it. And it was just basically somebody unknown wedding dress manufacturer that had a new design and wanted to display it. They paid for the model and the lights, and one thing I had to use was my camera. I had to set it all up per whatever I like, so that everything worked out right to get the photo that I was after. And getting the model to smile was a pain in the butt, because she wanted to get all stern and weird, so I had to get comical, which was kind of fun. But now I've done landscapes for magazines or tourist guides just because I would happen to be in the area, and sold them Twin Towers right before they got destroyed. I had a photo of that and on 35 millimeter, and it got sold to coins, it got sold to advertisements, it got sold for 300 or 400 times in a photo book. So I did pretty good there, and then I've got stock photo agencies already lined up working and for me already, and each one of them is making me about 50 to 100 bucks a year, depending upon what's going on there and who decides if they decide they want some of my photos. So then that's the one that I'm going to try to get going, and I may have to just start with the online part of it and become a vendor and then work my way into the storefront unless I can find a loan to get me the storefront, even if I can't open it right now because of coronavirus and the Governor Sisolak's regulations. But at least I can get it set up and get the products in there and pull the curtain shut and lock the door, and then I can use it for a warehouse until till that can be actually open without any restrictions, because I would set it up for doing it online and using it for a warehouse, set up the website, which I actually don't need the storefront for that, but the storefront would be good. That way I could, when I put up a Facebook page or the actual website page for the store, I could actually put an address there so that it looks like it's more real, just not somebody trying to work in their garage and trying to look big. I could look big, a whole lot bigger than it would be, and still, be a reasonably mid-sized to a small business, and still move, tons and tons and tons of product. It wouldn't be that hard. It's just a matter of phrasing and wording and getting the product in front of the right people. Which, if I get the 150,000, that'd be an advertisement person's job to do. So that would be the way that would work, and there'd be unemployments, and the stuff that I don't want to do, like payroll, would be farmed out. I mean, I can do it, I just don't like doing it. There's all kinds of business professionals out there that'll help for a reasonable amount of money, and this business, like I said, I figure, in time, it can make anywhere from 100,000, 200,000 and up. It's just a matter of getting the clientele to decide they want to shop there and nobody else, to do the business and to do the thing, to do their photography needs. And believe it or not, a lot of people say the photography industry is dead. Well, it's not. Even the invention of the cell phones with the camera on them isn't slowing the photography industry down at all. It's just more people are using their cell phones instead of actually buying an actual pocket-sized camera. But if you build a community around a store like this, then you're gonna increase your sales. And large community, small community, it really doesn't matter where I put the store. Out in the middle of the desert, with the plan that I've got going, it'll work with absolutely no problems whatsoever. You just gonna take a little bit of money to get it started, and get the website and all that stuff built, and get products out there in front of people. So you can start making sales, and the more sales I don't need more people at the warehouse or at the store to package and ship the products, which there are companies that will do that for you, and for a while I'll be using those, and I'll probably continue using those. But if it turns out that I need more stuff shipped than they can handle, then it becomes a need to put up a distribution center of my own, which I think can actually happen, and I'd like to be, the go-to guy at that type of thing too. So I'll probably be putting up a GoFundMe page for this one, and I'm going to put it up a little higher than what I said I need for the store, because once you finish the GoFundMe page, you got to pay the website 20%, then you've got to pay the 20% in taxes. So I've got to put it 40 to 50% more than I actually need to set this up. So look for that. I'll go into more detail about how this business is going to work, and don't worry, you're not going to be able to do the business on your own without my help, because I'm not going to give you all the tricks and secrets that I've got set up. I am going to hold back some surprises, so when I do get this thing going, you'll see the surprises and tricks, and it's easy enough to do. You'll figure it out. You just have to watch the channel or watch the store, because I don't even think Walmart's going to be able to compete once I get this thing set up and running right, because there is really no competition except for myself. Just try to do it better every day, and that's the way business works. You don't worry about what everybody else is doing. You just try to do what you're doing better every day, which is what I'm going to try to do on these videos too, is on my movie reviews and whatever else I'm talking about. I'm going to try to just do it better every time I do it. So, okay, well, probably should get off of this thing, and we'll talk at you on the next video. Take care, be safe, good. Stay out of the scared culture if you can. Bye.